What's up, guys? Welcome back to our spooky season horror movie reviews. I will get to Child's Play 2 soon, I promise, but I finally got a chance to see The Substance. And I went into that movie a little excited about, what all the critics have been saying and a lot of the reviewers that I watched been saying. And so everyone's review is out by now. So this is going to be very unoriginal, which is unfortunate, but I tried to go into this movie very empty-handed. And I'll just put it this way, that left me with my jaw dropping in like 5 different scenes in this film. To put it simply, this movie is excellent because it captures a metaphor. And I really don't want to, okay, let me just put it this way. I'm not going to go into spoilers either way, but I think the less you know about this movie before going into it, the better. So, if you haven't seen this movie and like you've looked forward to it for whatever reason, just go into it with as less knowledge as possible. And because that's what I did, and I had a wonderful experience. The only thing I heard about it beforehand, and so therefore now I'm going to start the review. The only thing I heard about it beforehand was that it was a body horror movie similar to The Fly. And the critics loved it. And they've been talking about the performances in this movie. And so my expectations were, whatever, high to or, mid to high expectations. And I will just say that the 3 main cast members in this film, Demi Moore, I forget the second chick's name, and Dennis Quaid, I apologize. They all deserve Oscar nominations, 100%. Their performance in this movie makes or breaks this movie. It relies on their performances pretty much, and they ace it from beginning to end. This is a 2-hour and 21-minute film, and you rarely feel the runtime. Like, I'm gonna be real with you. It's a movie, that relies on a metaphor at its forefront of basically how far and what it's like to age, especially as a woman. And I think the insanity works perfectly with this metaphor of, especially with the character that we are given, played by Demi Moore. Again, excellent in this movie. I mean, Oscar-worthy performance. Especially, again, not going to get into spoilers, but the last, half an hour of this movie is bonkers. And if I'm not mistaken with some of that bonkersness, with different actors, if it's what I think is true, there's no way without, even like competition, that Demi Moore would get an Oscar nomination. But that's unclear to me at this time. I would have to wait to get the Blu-ray and watch the behind the scenes stuff. That's all I'll say as far as that goes. I really was unclear. I had a good idea that, people said this was a harder movie to watch. No one talked about the last 30 minutes of this film in the reviews I watched, and I could not thank them enough because I didn't know what was going to happen, quite frankly. I had an idea because of comparisons that people have made, but I don't understand. It is incredible. It's not going to be for everyone. I'm going to tell you that this is probably going to be a pretty decisive film in certain, groups and categories, because there really isn't, to me, that much to compare it to. And I will say, I don't want to spoil things that are going to come up, but if you know me, you already know, but The Shining is my favorite movie of all time. That is just the facts. I do plan on re-reviewing it this year with the Spooky Season reviews. Everything about that movie, and I'll elaborate more, everything about that movie just works perfectly. I mean, perfect. I know I use the word perfect a lot, but everything in that movie is perfect to me. I mean, I literally don't have a gripe with that movie. And there's a lot of Shining references in this movie, and it made me grin from ear to ear. Okay, and it plays beautifully into these references too, and I appreciate it. This is also only the second film from this director. I didn't see her first film, and I honestly kind of want to go back and see it. The fact that this is her second film and it's getting Oscar buzz, incredible. There's been a few. I think Spielberg and people like that. They've pretty quickly made their impression, and I think that this director, she's going to make her own impression, especially upon the horror genre, because wow. People said to not eat during Terrifier 3, and if you don't like gore, definitely don't. But I would even strongly more recommend you do not eat during this movie, and a lot of people have said that, and I'm like, it can't be that bad. Oh no, it's that bad. It is wild, and I got more squeamish during this movie than I even remotely got during Terrifier 3. So take that with a grain of salt. It's not super gory, it is just squeamish, and it makes you go, ugh. And yeah, there's a lot of that. So prepare for that if you don't see this movie. I'm going to wrap this up. I mean, it's pretty simple. The Substance is going to get an A. It's going to get nominated for Oscars, I have a feeling, and maybe be in the top 10 at the end of this year. Who knows? All right. Peace out, like and subscribe.